I saw a very disheartening message today from a man who feels like giving up in life. And I started to notice that a lot of people's minds can get into a very self-destructive place from something that I want to introduce to you. This is a new topic perhaps for you. Maybe if you're my client or patient, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking today about the power of heterosuggestions and how to overcome them.
Yeah. I'm inspired.
Flow Mashkaram and Flow Mastay. My name is Sumedh Chatterjee. I'm founder of the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state guide and a catalyst that's going to help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to talk to you about heterosuggestions, okay? Autosuggestions are things that you tell yourself, like affirmations. Heterosuggestions are things that other people tell you. Now, these can be in the negative or the positive, so it can be beneficial if everyone around you is kind of inculcating and like suggesting to you that you're the best person ever and that you have all of these things, right? But then that also starts to form your identity. This is why celebrities have this like giant ego that they're trying to carry on their back, and they're not truly able to fully be themselves and like step into their authenticity or transparency at times, right? You have to have this halo effect around themselves. So in a sense, we've got to control our own inner worlds, ultimately, right? This is what this means. I understand the power of heterosuggestions because I know the things that people say that are against me are going to affect my subconscious mind. For instance, when I dyed my hair, obviously my mom had something to say about it, right? Oh, you're becoming an old man. Oh, but people will say this. Oh, but your roots and the chemicals will hurt your hair. And okay, now that's not a good impression of my mom at all. This is just from my own irritation that's coming across. So my apologies, Mom. However, I start to understand that if I start to believe that narrative, it's going to crumble my own self-esteem, is it not? This was my personal choice. I think it looks cool. And a lot of people also think it looks cool. But there's certain people who don't think it looks cool, who think I'm being superficial, who think I'm doing something else, right? So this is what I'm talking about in terms of heterosuggestions. You have to have such a strong awareness of who you are and a self-knowledge. You can't let other people tell you things and you just blindly believe it, like gullibly. So someone is telling you, oh, but stop being so cocky, stop being so arrogant, okay? If two people tell you that, you're like, oh, fine, whatever, that's their own projection. If hundreds of people are telling you that, maybe that's something to look into, right? Maybe it's something to tweak. However, at the same time, you're not letting other people's comments get to you. And the way you do this is, first of all, there's many ways to do this, right? In positive psychology, there's something called the positivity ratio, which means 3:1, okay? So 3 positive thoughts are equal to 1 negative thought. So let's say someone hits you with the heterosuggestions. You need 3 positive things that you got to tell yourself in that time to balance it out, straight up. Internally, you don't have to tell them out loud, kind of like you're trying to justify it or kind of trying to preserve that sense of self, but you got to do it in your own mind. You got to close your eyes and do it in your own mind. 3 things that are positive about that. This is a very common heterosuggestion that a lot of kids get, is you're lazy. So let's say your mom or your dad is saying, stop being so lazy. Immediately in that moment, you close your eyes, you think of 3 ways in which you're hardworking. Neutralization. Or even 4 to kind of give yourself that little 1-up, like that little Mario mushroom, right, in this video game. So that's a really quick way to get over heterosuggestions in the moment. The next one is reframing it as a joke. You notice when people are actually joking, but maybe they're partly serious, but still the joke doesn't really hit you at the level of if you start making it more serious in your own mind, your mind starts to capture it and cling onto it, attach onto that thing. And we start taking life so seriously and we get so stagnant and restricted in our own capabilities because we're taking things so seriously, right? But the more you can laugh at yourself, the more you can get ridiculous. I got this from one of my mentors in the past who was Jamie Cato. He has this book called Insanely Gifted. I took one of his workshops on flow state, and he recommended that you kind of just rub your shoulder like you're dealing with an inner child, and you just go, No. Okay? No. It's just that sound, right? That makes you, it might feel like you're doing it at first to try to mock yourself. For a certain paradigm of person, it's going to feel weird and awkward, right? You try new things, it's going to feel different. But you do it enough times and you start to notice you're getting back your sense of momentum, your fluidity. You're getting back that internal shift, that consciousness where you can stay laser focused on your tasks. If you're watching a lot of news, of course there's seeds of doubt planted in your subconscious mind. Sometimes your own autosuggestions can overpower the heterosuggestions. So if you're listening to subliminals, which I highly recommend, anyone on this channel actually need to be listening to subliminals like every day, okay? That's my standard, okay? You don't have to match that standard, but I highly recommend you at least listen once a week, okay? To get that rewiring process to take place, okay? You're rewiring your specific brain. What do I recommend? I recommend the ones that are highly effective, okay? Subliminal Club has a few ZP ones that are very powerful. You know, Quadable, Sapien, these are ones that are just proven to work. My own channel, Shellism Tones, some of you know that. You know, there is Harper Healing, which I highly recommend. There's harperhealing.com, which I highly recommend as well. And there's various subliminals out there that are really, really powerful. Also, Power Liminals by Rion are also incredible, okay? So the more you're suggesting things to yourself, you're going to override the heterosuggestions that you get from media or other things you're consuming. I know that sometimes when I leave on a show that's very, very negative, it's going to influence my mind the next day. I think I might have left a show on yesterday that I didn't even know what I was watching, and I kind of fell asleep to it. And this morning I felt like weird, you know, in my own physical body. And I needed to do a lot of, you know, energy medicine work and like movement and stuff to actually, you know, get rid of that. A really quick way to release negative energy from your own body, this is something that I do, is you take both of your thumbs and you place them right where your seam lines are, right? Like where your pants, you know, meet your body in a sense, okay? So you want to keep it there, and you want to run them down the sides of your legs all the way to your toes. Then from the inside of your toes, now you're still with your thumbs, you're going in, same seam line, going up and stopping at your spleen points right here near the ribs. Okay. This is kind of a quick zip up that you can do that's going to help you flush out any of that, you know, negative energy that's just storing up and, you know, in your body, this kind of dense, disgusting material that piles up in your body. It's a really quick relief. Like, I feel relieved already doing this. And it's just a flush. It's a good flush for you to do if you get a lot of heterosuggestions throughout the week. It's just one of my go-tos, okay? It's one of my go-tos, so I wanted to share it with you. Obviously, there are very specific practices and flow state exercises that I can't give you unless I don't know what your issue is, right? So so if you want, you can get on a call with me. I do channeling master classes, okay? I believe I'm doing one today, and I'm doing one tomorrow. And I might be doing one in the weekend as well. So, you know, hit me up if you're interested in working together. You know, it'll be way more effective than you're getting from these videos. I know you've gotten a lot of value. A lot of people, you know, they send me messages and they say amazing things about how they've found so much value from these videos. And, you know, I really appreciate that, guys, because it means a lot to me. Really, it does. Like, this is why I do what I do, is to show up and add value. Lastly, I want to leave you with a tip. We are social beings, okay? So tell your friends to call you some cool nickname from now on. That's going to be a really powerful heterosuggestion, okay? So let's say that from tomorrow your friend, like, just tell your friends, okay, refer to me as Golden Child, okay? That's it, right? Game over, right? If your friends keep telling you that, it's going to perpetuate and construct some sort of an ego identification. It's going to reflect into your reality. Like, oh no, dude, he's golden child. Everything he touches turns to gold, right? Or you can just have, be in a group, like a kind of a drum circle type of thing with your friends, and have them all telling the affirmation that you want to you. You were this, you were that, you were this, you were that, and have them compliment you and have them, really pummel that into your mind. You can even layer your own voice and do this, right? You can record your own voice and do this and repeat it multiple times. So there's many ways to go about this. This is not like a one-stop shop solution, right? A really important thing for you to practice is notice when you're hearing certain things, even if it's from videos like this, right? I look all around me and I see places where it's like, open your third eye, open your third eye, open your third eye. And what makes you think that your third eye is closed? But if you need to open your third eye, it's presupposing that your third eye is closed in the first place. Maybe it's not. Sometimes there is conditioning that gets in the way, right? So it's just layers on top of it, maybe, preventing it. But this kind of narrative can't go on, right? We have certain narratives going on that are heterosuggestions, that are cultural, right? So just be really aware of the narrative that society's creating, that other people are creating for you, rather than you being the storyteller of your own life. The author, the dramaturg, and the director. Another technique that I teach a lot of my clients and patients is I like to introduce this concept of having a storyline mindset. So when someone is telling you something about you, you imagine they're reading you a storybook about you, or like a gossip rumor magazine about you when they're telling you. You're still intrigued. You're like, oh, tell me more of what you think about me. And at the same time, it helps you create that distance and not personalize things that people are telling you all the time, right? There's many ways we can go about this, but just make sure that you're flushing out your body as well as your mind. Because once heterosuggestions also can get trapped in the energetic system, it starts to form like a lethargy, kind of, this kind of sluggishness sometimes that prevents people from showing up. So that's what I would recommend. Highly effective stuff. Have an incredible day. Hope this was helpful to you. Share this with a friend. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Os!